we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. Everybody gon' be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. Cause no man's alone, do what's right, alright. Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Teachers at the heart of education recovery.
My name is Dion French. I am a teacher at the Advanced Vocational Educational Center. I got into teaching to help students realize their dreams academically so that they can become productive citizens in the Federation of Scientists and Navies. During this pandemic, I was able to help my students cope by continuing classes using virtual platforms such as Zoom, Google Classroom, and MS Teams. In today's society, education is very important, and I play a pivotal role in ensuring that my students meet the requirements that are needed in the world to survive. As we celebrate World Teachers Day, I would like to encourage all teachers to adapt to the challenges to ensure that our future leaders are equipped to perform.
Teachers at the heart of education recovery.
Teachers at the heart of education recovery.
como profesores estamos trabajando duro con el corazón en las manos para la recuperación de la educación. As teachers, we are at the heart of the education recovery.
Teachers at the heart of education recovery.
I recall with delight the many videos of parents struggling to teach one child and then wondering how teachers teach so many at once. I recollect the many calls from parents and guardians asking when schools were going to resume face-to-face instructions because they were exhausted and overwhelmed trying to cater at home to the cognitive needs of their children. I am therefore confident that if parents did not understand or appreciate the tremendous work that teachers do, the experiences when there was no in-school instruction have enabled them to develop outstanding respect for and gratitude to teachers. It is my earnest hope that especially this week, our teachers would know unequivocally how much they are appreciated. Happy Teachers Week and a very special World Teachers Day to all teachers.
Why do I teach? I teach because to me it's a career where I know I am making a difference. It is a dream to help students understand their worth, and I hope to help them to understand that they can achieve whatever they put their mind to. To be honest, I also see each student, I also see them as being different, and knowing them enriches me. It helps me to help them, and so teaching has given me that forte to help students to grow and to become better in life. I believe that I learn each day, and being able to impact others is a dream come true. Teaching brings me joy, and annually I'm inspired by students who overcome big or small obstacles with determination and attitude. My passion for teaching is also synonymous to my second name, which is Alexis. And when you define Alexis, you would see that Alexis means helper. And so teaching helps me to help others. And so I'm in teaching basically simply to make a difference in young people's life, to ensure that they can get to where they want to be at the end of their schooling. Just being able to make a difference is the simple reason as to why I teach. During the lockdown, I was fortunate enough to have planned all my lessons and would have put every last lesson on PowerPoint. And so it is easy to transfer my lessons to the computer and have students engaged in whatever means necessary, be it Kahoot, be it other learning platforms. Students are able to get the necessary instructions. However, we are still here being faced with face-to-face, and so I'm able to cope presently, but I can tell you that if push comes to shove, that we have to go remotely, I believe that I am in a position, a very good position, to reach each and every child, as I would have done so during the last academic year when I had to prepare my last set of reformers for their CSEC examination that they would have sat just recently. And so I want to take this opportunity at this time to wish everyone a heartfelt World Teachers Day under the theme, Teachers at the Heart of Education Recovery.
Teachers at the Heart of Education Recovery.
At the Heart of Education Recovery.
My name is Deandra Carey, and I am a teacher of social studies at the Keon High School. I teach because I think that it is important for children, for students to see people from different walks of society. And by that I mean I have dreads, I have a lot of tattoos, and I think that it is important for them to see that persons with locks and persons with tattoos can be educators as well and can help to enrich the fabric of society. Students cope during this pandemic by just being myself, being able to relate to them and talk to them. It's very difficult to have your students and not be able to touch them and talk and laugh with them. We have to understand that mentally they are going through a lot, mentally we are going through a lot. So I am helping my students by just trying to keep things as normal as possible in these uncertain times. Teachers at the heart of education recovery.
Of beauty, our country where peace abounds, thy children stand free on the strength of will and love, with God in all our struggles. Saint Kitts and Nevis be a nation bound together with a common destiny. As stalwarts we stand for justice and liberty, with wisdom and truth, we will serve and honor thee. No sword nor spear can conquer, for God will sure defend. His blessing shall forever to posterity extend.
We will now bow our heads to pray. Dear kind, heavenly, and gracious Father, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you in prayer, the opportunity to gather together safely. Lord, as we approach the final act, I pray that there will be a spirit of camaraderie and fairness. Lord, I pray that your presence will fill the participants and that we, the audience, open our ears. As this evening's event, commence, I pray that it runs smoothly. In your name I pray. Amen.
May be seated. Testing one. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. We have to make enough noise to fill this auditorium, so let me hear you. Good afternoon, everyone. Very good. Allow me to recognize the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, who is the chair of the National Independence Celebrations Committee. She's also our Minister of Health, ICT, Entrepreneurship, and Entertainment. Right. We want to thank Minister Byron Nisbet for leading the committee the second year in a row and doing an excellent job. I wish also to recognize Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Education Ministry, Mrs. Patricia Iles Caesar. Mrs. Patricia Iles Caesar. I wish also to acknowledge the principals, teachers, members of the National Independence Committee who are here, as well as the members of the Education Subcommittee for Independence Celebrations. We want to recognize and welcome in the streaming world, in the online platform, King Elimat. Please make some noise so that King Elimat will hear you. He is one of our icons, and he is residing in Miami. We want to welcome all our participants, especially, well, he's not a participant, but we want to welcome the other students who are not participants, and especially Imani Samuel. Does that name ring a bell? Is Imani here yet? Okay, Imani is the winner of our independence theme for this year. Let me hear you say the theme, boys and girls. Come on. Okay, yes, you have it correct, but you have to make some more noise. Come on, let's hear you. One more time. Okay, very good. Give yourselves a round of applause. And give another one to Imani. Right. For the second year running, we have had a student who has won this competition, and we hope that is something good to keep going. We can show the adults that the youngsters can do just as good as them. So this evening, we have come to do the finals in the elocution contest for this year. We had eliminations last week, in all of the zones, West, East, Bastille, and the private schools were in a zone by themselves. So we want to congratulate all of you, all of the schools are taking part. We know that some schools, at the very last minute, they had to withdraw because their student ended up in quarantine or wasn't feeling well or something of the sort. You know, just like a half an hour before the competition started, one principal called to say, Mr. Hodge, I really have to keep back my participant here because he's just not feeling well. And then we also want to make special mention of the participant from the Sandy Point Primary School, because that school was advanced to the finals, but his class is now in quarantine. And so he had to give up the opportunity, and as a result, Date Bay was able to come in place. But I want us to put our hands together for Avian Zakers, who would have represented Sandy Point Primary School. I want to introduce to you our chairperson for today, chairman. He's of the old stock that says chairman, even when it's a woman. This person is an educator at heart. He might be retired officially, but he is an educator at heart. Mr. Michael Blake has been a teacher, deputy principal, education officer, acted chief education officer on occasions, and retired as an assistant secretary in the Ministry of Education, from education that is, and later went on to be a diplomat. He was one of our diplomats in Cuba. That reminds me to say that he's very fluent in languages, especially the English language, very excellent vocabulary. So you're going to be listening to those new words you're going to hear this evening, and you write them down. Students, you write them down, even if you don't spell it correctly, and then later on you go and check it, spelling and the meaning in the dictionary. Mr. Blake is an avid poet. He writes poetry, recites, and all of that. So we are extremely grateful that he's able to be our chairperson this evening. So I want to welcome all of you, especially those who are viewing us online, listening or viewing online. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be a lot of camaraderie as our sister prayed, and we're going to just have an enjoyable time this evening. So welcome to everybody, and Mr. Blake, it's my pleasure to turn the microphone over to you. Oh, you have it. Okay,
thank you very much, Mr. William Vincent Austin Hodge, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education. I have said before, and I'll say it again, it is my considered opinion that were it not for Mr. Hodge and his indomitable spirit, born out of many years of dedication to education, which is the main pillar, in a manner of speaking, on which education stands today. In other words, I believe that his input and involvement in education today is responsible for whatever successes education can boast in our times. I am happy to have been able to work with him prior to my departure from Cuba, and I am happy that I'm even happier that he's still batting and batting well. How about a round of applause for Mr. Hodge? Thank you. Now, students, I expect you, young ones, you primary school students, to be very active and vocal this afternoon. I want to warn you that I'm going to be calling on you from time to time, not the participants now, I'm talking about the rest of you, to be actively involved, all right? God himself makes it clear that he calls you because you are young and strong. So when Mr. Hodge asks you to participate, to respond in some way, we expect a lot of energy behind that. Nothing dull and lethargic and hardly audible. We want to hear you loudly and clearly because you are young and strong. I noticed that COVID has not touched one young person to the point where he or she has passed in St. Kitts. None of the 16, 17, whatever number it is now, is a young person. All of you are young, strong, and healthy. So I want to see some of that coming out during the course of today's exercise. Certainly, we want to congratulate those schools which have made it to the finals. I'm sure it was a rigorous process of eliminations, and I believe that the best, the top 8 schools were selected via that process of eliminations, and today we are going to be treated to the excellence with which they will perform and produce. We know that this elocution contest is part of the activities, the calendar of activities to celebrate our independence anniversary. Around the world, independence is a big thing. Independence occupies a very commodious space on the calendar of activities that run the gamut of a nation's year, calendar year. And we cannot have independence activities without actively involving our students. As a matter of fact, we know that they will be the leaders of the future. They will be the men and women of the future. And because a lot of us who are leaders now will have passed on by the time these youngsters who are preteens are in their prime years, we know that they're going to be the ones taking the helm. So it is critical, a command given by God himself, that we train these people, train these youngsters in the proper way, in a manner that leads and lends to effectiveness, to growth, to progress, to independence, pure and total. You know, there's a big argument forever, which is going to rage forever, I believe, that independence is not really possible for any nation, much more so for small in developing states like ours. But to the extent that we can provide our own materials, our own resources, our own food and so on, to the extent that we can capitalize on whatever capital we have, social, financial, human and so on, we can hold our own among any and among many. Honorable Minister, we are happy to have you here. I believe Mr. Hart has already established the protocol, and of course we are going to follow that through as we proceed. We want to welcome the Honorable Minister as he enters the auditorium, and we hope that he too will thoroughly enjoy the procedures. We are going to introduce now the participants and the judges. Just give me a second here. I will not tell you that I was asked to perform this role not very distant from now. In other words, much time has not elapsed since I was asked to perform this role. I will never share that with you. Be that as it may, let me advise that the participating schools this evening are the Joshua Obadiah William Primary School, and Mr. Hart, allow me to add that all that I am, I owe first to Almighty God, secondly to my parents, and thirdly to Joshua Obadiah Williams himself. I attended the Bastia Boys School. It was, perhaps is, the best school of all. And why so? Because of J.O. Williams. So that school is represented here, not surprisingly. And that school will be followed by Keon Primary. I'm also presenting the order of appearance. So the first school will be J.O. Williams, represented, by the way, by Ajanei Stokes, followed by Keon Primary, represented by Kivern Gilbert. The third school will be Seventh-day Adventist Primary, represented by Christopher France. Number 4 will be Epworth Morris Hillier Memorial Junior School. Yonde Di Costa is the representative. Beach Island Primary comes up in number 5. Tyler Maynard will do the honors. Calixte Hodge is going to proudly be the participant for St. Paul's, coming in at number 6. Penultimately, Dean Glassford Primary, Angenique Singh will carry the flag, as it were, and the last, but certainly not least, thank you, contestant will be Diepbe Primary in the person of Taslinda Bartlett. Let me say that it is not because I am male myself, but I am very happy to see a number of males representing their schools. Because I have been to several of these competitions, both as a regular supporter and witness, and as an official, as a judge, where all the participants are female. And I am really uncomfortable with that. So I want to congratulate you guys who are representing your schools today. And I'm looking forward to the day, Mr. Minister of Education, when we will have a competition in which all representatives are of the masculine gender. Let me advise you now as to who the judges are. The persons responsible for judging the competition this evening, and please may I remind you, your duty, both here at the Antioch Baptist Church and listening and viewing, your duty is to listen, learn, enjoy. You are not invited or expected to judge. That duty is the domain of 3 distinguished citizens, and their judgment, of course, is final and irreversible. First, we have Mr. Leroy Pemberton, Jr., who is a senior lecturer in English at the College of Further Education, the Clarence Fitzgerald Bryan College. He is a CXC examiner for many years at both CSEC and CAPE levels, and he has adjudicated several competitions of this sort. In fact, he and I, we have worked together jointly in this capacity from time to time. Secondly, we have Miss Arlene Francis. Of course, she's a dietitian, but spent many years in the United States. She has now returned, and she functions as a child development specialist. She's currently working at the St. Kitts Spectrum Center. She, too, is actively involved in things literary, and those of us who were present at the back-to-school ceremony for teachers this year, we would have heard her recite with gusto a poem of her own creation. The final judge, the chief judge for this evening's exercise, is Mr. Samuel Duggins, the founder and CEO of Island Expressions. Samuel Duggins is an accomplished poet who has founded the immensely popular Island Expressions Poetry and Open Mic Night. I have been a part of that myself, and I am testimony to its luscious efficacy. Samuel has produced his own television show, Express Yourself. He's a television and radio personality, and Samuel is also an entrepreneur who has founded Montreville Farms, which produces fresh fruits and vegetables, and trains aspiring farmers in the methods best suited to produce such fruits and vegetables. A round of applause, please, for our judges. We are now going to enter the competition itself, and just to advise that each student, let me give you an idea of what the rules and regulations are, if you don't mind. The participant is obliged to state the title of his piece and the poet. I have not stated that information because I'm allowing the students to present with that information. The participant must also state his or her name, naturally, and the school that he/she represents. Importantly, each student is allocated 3 to 5 minutes to deliver the piece. Timing, and we do have a timer. Timing begins when the participant begins, when the student actually begins his delivery, his oration, not including informing us of the title of the piece or of the name of the participant himself or herself or of his school. Timing begins at the moment of actual delivery. Of course, the top 3 positions will be announced by the judges, and each of these winning positions or winning students will be presented with an appropriate trophy for his or her effort. I see in the audience a number of students, a number of teachers, a number of parents, a number of supporters. How happy we are that you have made it. The judges will be deciding the winners based on the following criteria. Memorization. This includes knowledge of the material, to what extent the student hesitates or does not, whether the student exhibits elements of confusion, and whether the student needs to be prompted. We don't expect that, but that will be taken into account by the judges. That is worth 8 points. 10 points is awarded for diction, which the judges have determined to include articulation, pronunciation, enunciation, fluency, projection, pitch, and vocal quality. 10 points also go to communication, eye contact, ability to hold attention, and mental rapport with the audience. 5 points only for the use of body language. This includes posture, facial expression, gestures, movement, and whether the student involves himself in distracting mannerisms or not. 10 points awarded for interpretation. This includes comprehension and proper emphasis, creation of mood, and emotional effect. 5 points for overall effectiveness, which includes organization of thought, spiritual or emotional effect. 2 points for 2 extra points if the student falls within the 3 to 5 minute allocated time. That is good. We expect each student to fall within that slot, and so he or she will automatically get 2 extra points. That gives a total of 50 points. And that makes it easier, of course, for the judges to, as I like to say, judge up their judgment. We begin then, and before we do so, by the way, we're going to ask each of the student representatives to sit at the very back. We have a number of seats at the back there for you. Each student participant, please sit at the back. This is to facilitate your being handed the mic, the pin-on mic, when your turn comes. So as student number 1, Eugenique Stokes from J.O. Williams comes forward, we're going to ask the other students to sit in those chairs at the back. Let's do that as quickly as possible. Remember, you are young and strong, and so we expect you to move with agility. Eugenique Stokes, we invite you to come forward. Just a minute, before you begin. Ladies and gentlemen, we just want to make sure that you give her your undivided attention, and a rousing, thunderous round of applause is expected at the end. At the end. Please. Thank you very much. Okay? We believe the judges that you're ready. And so are we. Please. Over to you, Sister
My name is Ajanya Stokes, and I will be representing the Joshua Obadiah Williams Primary School. Good Enough for Me by Elston Nero, better known as King Elimat. This is a message for all kitchens and divisions at home, and especially to those abroad. They're taking boats and they're taking plane, and they swear you'll never see them again. Leave house and land and go away, but whatever means in a foreign land they'll stay with careless abandon. They leave their motherland just so you'll run into my countrymen everywhere you go, while them in a foreign land catching hell. Foreigners in their country doing well. The United States is great, they say. To me, that is just for a holiday. There's too much violence and crime. You gotta sleep with an eye open all the time. Don't talk about New York City. The junkies and the muggers are too much for me. Traffic too fast and trains too loud. You have to rob, cheat, and kill to last in that crowd. But not me. They like run to Great Britain, even though they face repatriation. It's only a real puppy show will give up lovely sunshine to live in snow. See them in London, living real bad. No job, no money, life really hard. Worse when a cold hit the body. They rush back home sick and they fall crazy. Not me. Eske is me born in land, I say. And in Nevis, I know I can make it any day. I will do anything I can to defend my country. I will do anything I can to promote my land. And when trouble comes, no one can dare deport me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me.
Thank you very much. Teachers, or whichever adult is sitting next to or close to the student, make sure his or her shoelaces are tight. You don't want him or her tripping and falling. Okay? We want the chap from his or her performance, but we don't want him or her to injure him or herself. Thank you very much. We will now listen to Keon Primary's participant, Representative that was deliberate, actually. Hoping that they would have had enough time to prepare themselves. So maybe the Chief Judge could just give me a slight nod. And as soon as he does that, we'll proceed. In the interim, okay, I get the nod. So let us proceed. Kevin Gilbert from Keon Primary. The stage is yours.
Show it to me.
Stage is yours, baby.
Can you keep it up?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Gilbert, and I am 10 years old, a grade 4 student at the Keon Primary School. Good Enough for Me by Esther Nero, better known as King Elimat. This is a message for all kitchens and divisions at home and especially to those abroad. They take him boat, and they take him plane, and they swear you'll never see them again. Leave house island and go away. By whatever means, in a foreign land, they'll stay. With careless abandon, they leave the motherland just so. You'll run into my countrymen everywhere you go, while them in a foreign land catching hell. Foreigners in their country doing well. The United States is great. They say. To me, that is just for a holiday. There's too much violence and crime. You got to sleep with one eye open all the time. Don't talk about New York City. The junkies and the muggers are too much for me. The traffic too fast and the trains are too loud. You have to rob, cheat and kill to last in that crowd. But not me. They like to run to Great Britain, even though they face repatriation. It's only a real Papa Shaw will give up on lovely sunshine to live in snow. See them in London living real bad. No job, no money, life really hard. Worse when the cold hit the body. They rush back home sick and they pal crazy. But not me. St. Kitts is me born in land, I say. And in Nevis, I know I can make it any day. I will do anything I can to defend my country. And when trouble comes, no one can dare deport me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. I thank you. Teacher,
I know some person now. Clapping. What's going on here? I want to advise you, I am not the kind of person to ask for repeat applause. So please, don't let me have to do that. Just give it to me. Give it to the student immediately upon the end of his or her performance. I want to remind you or advise you as well that students are not obliged to wear their uniforms, and so no points are deducted for the student being clad otherwise. And all of us are fully aware of this lovely, beautiful, unique, fascinating song that Elimat composed. And of course, I fully subscribe to the lyrics therein. Personally, Almighty God has allowed me to travel quite a bit. And each time I travel, I love St. Kitts more. I always say, St. Kitts is the closest one can get to heaven on earth. And I'm very serious about that. I have been able to travel to all 16 members of CADICOM. Well, thanks to an ability to speak other languages as well. But each of those CADICOM countries, all of them, Belize in Central America, to Bahamas up north, down to Trinidad and Guyana in the south. Each island, each country had its own unique assets. But put together, none of them, and I'm not sorry to say this, I'm not making any apologies for it, none of them can compare to what St. Kitts and Nevis has to offer. Hey, give me St. Kitts every day. Give me St. Kitts every day. I will not join my 9 sisters and 7 brothers who have all migrated and live abroad. I man born here, and I man going to stay right here. That's me. Okay. We are going to hear from participant number 3 from the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Seventh Adventist primary school, sorry. Seventh Adventist primary school. I will not be surprised if the child, Christopher, is also a member of the Seventh Adventist Church. But from the Seventh Adventist primary school, Christopher France represented both the school and the boys of the Federation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Christopher France, and I am representing the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School. Good Enough for Me by Elston Nero, better known as King Ellie Matt. This is a message for all Kittitians and divisions at home, and especially to those abroad. They take him boat, and they take him plane, and they swear you'll never see them again. Leave house and land and go away by whatever means. In a foreign land they'll stay. With careless abandon, they leave the motherland just so you'll run into my countrymen everywhere you go, while them in a foreign land catching hell, foreigners in their country doing well. The United States is great, they say. To me, this is just for a holiday. There's too much violence and crime. You got to sleep with an eye open all the time. Don't talk about New York City. The junkies and the muggers are too much for me. The traffic too fast and trains too loud. You have to rob and cheat and kill to last in that crowd, but not me. They like run to Great Britain, even though they face repatriation. It's only a real poppy show. We'll give up lovely sunshine to live in snow. See them in London living real bad. No job, no money. Life really hard. Worse when a cold hit the body. They rush back home sick and they pull crazy. Not me. Esca is me born in land, I say. And in Nevis, I know I can make it any day. I will do anything I can to defend my country. I will do anything I can to promote my land. And when trouble comes, no one can dare deport me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you would not support the idea that George Street in Newtown be renamed forthwith Elmatt Boulevard? Minister Powell, please take back that to cabinet on Monday. No more George Street named for King George, whichever, but for Elimat. I will be proud to move to Elimat Boulevard, but not George Street. Students, I want to tell you of a student who was, what grade was he in? I don't remember. But the teacher asked him to spell the word mosquito. And what was his response? The child said, "Teacher, I don't want to spell that small little animal. Give me a big animal to spell, like dog or cat." I like that. Okay? He wants a big word, a big animal to spell. Mosquito is too small an insect. How dare she? All right. It's time now, according to the judges, for contestant number 4, representing the Epworth Morris Hillier Memorial Junior School. Let's hear it for Yonde Di Costa. Thank you, Yonde. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask these students a question. I do not want any teacher, any parent, any adult giving any assistance. A simple question. Now, you students very well know the first premier of St. Kitts and Nevis was Robert Bratcher, and our first prime minister was Kennedy Simmons. Which one of your students can tell me? You have a prize for you, right? All right? You have a prize for you. So it's in the pocket of the Permanent Secretary or Dr. James.
Yes.
Who was our first local governor? Who was the first local governor?
So
Milton is very good.
Who was the first local governor of our federation? That is to say, the first governor came from, was born in federation. Any one of the students, just raise your hand. Don't ask your teacher, don't ask your parent, don't ask any adult. Ask your colleague if you wish. Ask your friend, your classmate. Let's go. Raise your hand up somewhere. No. I want one of the primary schoolers to answer. One of the primary schoolers first. Any primary school student knows the answer? Who was our first local governor?
Extended
you don't have all day? Okay,
lunch of your choice. I don't.
That is wrong. Sir Corbin Innes succeeded him. Sir Corbin Innes succeeded that person. So who was that person? No, Sir Fred Phillips was the first black governor, but he was not from St. Kitts and Nevis. He's from St. Vincent and Grenadines. Yes, ma'am. Yes? Definitely not. He was never the governor. Okay.
No, it's on.
Milton Pentonville Allen. MP Allen was our first local governor. Please bear that in mind, students, and remember it forever. Move on to contestant number 5 from Beach Island 5. Tyler Maynard. Come
on. This way? Oh. On the other side. Go straight up? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are you really catching something?
Final boarding call. This is the last call for Tyler Maynard.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, teachers, judges, my fellow competitors. My name is Tyler Maynard, and I'll be representing the Beach Allen Primary School, and I'll be performing the piece Good Enough for Me by Elston Nero, better known as King Elimat. This is a message for all Kittitians and Divisions at home and especially those abroad. They're taking boats and they're taking plane there, so you'll never see them again leave house and land and go away by whatever means in a foreign land. They'll stay with careless abandon. They leave the motherland just so you'll run into my countrymen everywhere you go, while them in foreign lands catching hell, foreigners in their country doing well. The United States is great, they say. To me, that's just for a holiday. There's too much violence and crime. You have to sleep with an eye open all the time. Don't talk about New York City. The junkies and the muggers are too much for me. The traffic too fast and trains too loud. You have to rob and cheat and kill to last in that crowd. Not me. They like to run to Great Britain even though they face repatriation. It's only a real happy show will give up lovely sunshine to live in snow. See them in London living real bad. No job, no money, life real hard. Worse, when a cold hit their body, they rush back home sick and they all crazy. Not me. SK is me born in land, I say, and in Nevis I know I can make it any day. I will do anything I can to defend my country. I will do anything I can to promote my land. And when trouble comes, no one can deport me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. Thank you. Huh? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ready what? Huh? No, me must call that outside.
Thank you. Hello? Students, if you're not paying attention, raise your hand. Okay, good. I'm going to remind you or give you some advice in the form of a short verse. But I want you, the students, you primary school students, to give me the last word of this short poetic advice. Matter of fact, let me ask you students, primary school students, stand up please. Primary schoolers, stand up please. Wherever you are, stand up, stand up. Good. Now listen carefully and I want you to give me the last word. When by others you are urged to walk a path you should not go, let them curse you if they will, but firmly answer. Students, I'm not hearing you. No, this is not good enough. This is not good enough for me. When by others you are urged to walk a path you should not go, let them blame you and curse you if they will, but firmly answer. No. Thank you. You may sit. Take that advice. In other words, don't follow the crowd. Don't accept bad advice. Do not accept bad advice. We are getting ready to introduce Calix Hodge, representing St. Paul's Primary School. Contestant number 6. Sorry, participant number 6.
Calix Hodge, proudly representing the St. Paul's Primary School. Good Enough for Me by Elsa Nero, better known as King Elimat. This is a message for all Kittitians and divisions at home, and especially to those abroad. They take him boat and they take him plane, and they swear you'll never see them again. Leave house and land and go away by whatever means in a foreign land. They'll stay with careless abandon. They leave their motherland. Just so you run into my countrymen everywhere you go, while them in a foreign land catching hell. Foreigners in their country doing well. The United States is great, they say. To me, that is just for a holiday. There's too much violence and crime. You got to sleep with an eye open all the time. Don't talk about New York City. The junkies and the muggers are too much for me. The traffic too fast and the trains too loud. You have to rob and cheat and kill to last in that crowd. But not me. They like run to Great Britain even though they face repatriation. It's only hurry up, happy show. We give up lovely sunshine to live in snow. See them in London, living real bad. No job, no money, life really hard. What? When a cold hit their body, they rush back home, sick, and they pull crazy. Not me. St. Kitts is me born in land, I say. And in Nevis, I know I can make it any day. I will do anything I can to defend my country. I will do anything I can to promote my land. And when trouble comes, no one can dare deport me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. Thank you.
Help me.
Thank you very much. None can deny that this 4th Street smoothie man was doing real well. He was doing real well. Okay. You know, if you really think about that song, it's a powerful song. Well, lots of really math songs had real potent messages. And that one in particular speaks to a lot of realities. And if you were to take time and meditatively contemplate it, you would have to agree that it is full of profound meaning and message. St. Kitts is where we really ought to extend and expend all our time and resources. It's a lovely place. It's a lovely place. Let's invite the penultimate participant, representing Dean Glassford Primary School, located in St. Peter's, Anjanique Singh. Anjanique Singh will no doubt do the school proud.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anjanique Singh, and I'm the proud representative of the Dean Glasswood Primary School. Good Enough for Me by Elston Nero, better known as King Ellie Matt. This is a message for all kittitions and divisions at home, and especially to those abroad. The taking boats and the taking plane, and the surveyor, you'll never see them again. Leave house and land and go away by whatever means in a foreign land. They'll stay with careless abandon. They leave the motherland just so. You'll run into my countrymen everywhere you go, while them in a foreign land catching hell. Foreigners in their country doing well. The United States is great, they say. To me, that's just for a holiday. There's too much violence and crime. You gotta sleep with one eye open all the time. Don't talk about New York City. The junkies and the muggers are too much for me. The traffic too fast and the trains too loud. You have to rob and cheat and kill to last in that pro, but not me. They like to run to Great Britain, even though they face repatriation. It's only a real pappy show will give up lovely sunshine to live in snow. See them in London living real bad. No job, no money, life really hard. Worse, when a cold hit the body, they rush back home sick and they're all crazy. Not me. St. Kitts is my born in land, I say. And in Nevis, I know I can make it any day. I will do anything I can to defend my country. I will do anything I can to promote my land. And when trouble comes, no one can dare deport me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you very much. I want to ask students another question, and hope that if you don't know the answer, when you do get the answer, you'll remember it forever and day. Now, an anagram is a word that can be taken from another word. In other words, you take one word, and you can use the letters to spell another word. For example, you take the word table, T-A-B-L-E. An anagram of table is bleat, B-L-E-A-T. We know that's sheep, bleat. You take the word steam, S-T-E-A-M. An anagram of steam is mates, M-A-T-E-S, or tames. What is a pangram? That is the question. What is a pangram? P-A-N-G-R-A-M. Which student knows the answer? Do not ask your teacher. Teachers, parents, do not tell the students. What? Sorry? What is a pangram? P-A-N-G-R-A-M. Do I see a hand up somewhere? Over there? Over here? Who knows? Yes, I see a hand up. Good, nice. Stand and tell us, sister. I think she's right, but I'm not sure I heard her clearly. Could somebody please amplify what she said? Good, that's correct. But it's a sentence in which all 26 letters of the alphabet are used. A sentence in which all 26 letters of the alphabet are used at least once. Okay? Thank you very much. That's a pangram, totally different from an anagram. Sorry? A sentence would be build me 5 boxes of fizzy something. But certainly, I have constructed a number of sentences like that. And I can give you 1 or 2 in a minute. But those are pangrams. I will give you 1 or 2 in a minute. And you students, you can write them down if you wish. I am so sad to announce that we have come to the last participant. The final representative will be Taslinda Bartlett from Deep Bay Primary. We hope that you will, at the end of her presentation, you will bring the house down with your applause. Come right up, Taslinda.
Good afternoon to all. My name is Taslinda Bartlett, representing the Deep Bay Primary School. Good Enough for Me by Elster Nero, better known as King Elimat. This is a message to all critics and divisions at home and especially to those abroad. They take him boat and they take him plane and they swear you'll never see them again. Leave house and land and go away by whatever means. In a foreign land they'll stay with careless abandon. They leave the motherland just so you'll run into my countrymen everywhere you go, while them in a foreign land catching hell, foreigners in their country doing well. The United States is great, they say. To me, that's just for a holiday. There's too much violence and crime. You got to sleep with that eye open all the time. Don't talk about New York City. The junkies and the muggers are too much for me. The traffic too fast, the trains too loud. You have to rob and cheat and kill to last in that crowd. But
Not me. The United States is great, they say. To me, that's just for a holiday. There's too much. They like run to Great Britain, even though they face repatriation. It's only a real poppy show will give up lovely sunshine to live in snow. See them in London, living real bad. No job, no money, life real hard. What's when a cold hit their body, they rush back home sick and they fall crazy. Not me. St. Kitts is me born in land, I say, and in Nevis I know I can make it any day. I will do anything I can to defend my country. I will do anything I can to promote my land. And when trouble comes, no one can dare deport me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. St. Kitts and Nevis, good enough for me. I thank you.
If you ask me, I think all of the students did well. But especially all of them. What we're going to do now, we're going to give the judges a few minutes, and no more than a few minutes. Don't ask me how much constitutes a few, or how many minutes constitute a few, but they're going to take a few minutes to deliberate, and then they'll come and report to us who the winners are, and perhaps make a comment or two. Okay, Mr. Chief Judge, we hope to have you back here as soon as possible. Okay, we are going to ask the students to remain. Remember, you are in the house of God, which should always attract a certain amount of reverence and respect. So we don't want the students running in and out. Teachers, now is when we want you to exercise control of the students. Do not have them running in and out of the building, of the church, of the sanctuary. Thank you very much for your cooperation. And if they do have to leave, let them do so walking, not running. Just to report an example of a pangram, a perfect example of a pangram, Mr. Minister. Simple. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. And only 1 or 2 letters, by the way, are repeated. Most of them are used just once. Almost a perfect pangram. All right, another one. Susie verily lacked naught of plaque, wax, morbi, or jam. In other words, she didn't lack any of those things. Susie verily lacked naught. That's the expression we use in English. Lacked naught, N-O-U-G-H-T, of course, of plaque, wax, morbi, or jam. So there are 2 examples of pangrams. All right, so as we await the judge's return to announce the winner, runner-up, and second runner-up, we're going to ask The winner from last year's competition, Miss Sanjana Bouraj, I hope I have that right, to come and give us a performance. Let's welcome the winner from last year's competition.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sanjana Bajraj, the 2020 Independence Elocution winner. El Dorado by Crichton Pension. I does vex, real vex, when kittitions and divisions call down this land. They want to leave and go. They think the States is the promised land. As soon as they get a green card or visa, they sell out them flags. They run to the USA to search for fortune up in the freezing cold, only to find the glitter, but not the gold. The States is no bed of roses, no land of milk and honey. There is no golden city. You have to work hard to make a penny, because there is no El Dorado out there. The streets are not paved with gold, my dear. While we're running, going in the cold, look what's happening. Foreigners coming here, finding gold. It's time we try to understand kittitions, divisions. We can make it here in this land. On this little rock, we'll proudly stand. So let me hear you say, I born right here. Me nah gonna wear me a tribon, kitty vision. We selling out Weber right to become Yankees overnight. Some women leave here to go to the States to born their children. While we not proud to be kittitions and divisions anymore, strangers coming to our shores, they will pay any price for a piece of this paradise. No pollution, the air is clean and nice. We need to face reality. The gold mine is here in SKB. Open your eyes and see that our future is in this country. There is no El Dorado out there. The streets are not paved with gold, my dear. While we're running, going in the cold, look what's happening. Foreigners coming here, finding gold. It's time we try to understand kittitions, divisions. We can make it here in this land. On this little rock, we'll proudly stand. So let me hear you say, I born right here. Me nah gonna wear me a tribon, kitty vision.
Could you tell us, hello? Hi, could you tell us which school you represented? Which school did you represent?
I represented the Dean Glassford Primary School.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, we will see whether Dean Glassford repeats this year. Okay? Now, I was looking through some poems which are not of my own construction, and I came across one which has been around for a while. I thought I'd share it this evening. It's about, it's entitled, Don't Blame the Children. I like it very much. I hope the Honorable Ministers, Akila and Jonel, and all the teachers and principals, and P.S. Hodge, and Dr. James and others, give it some thought. You don't have to agree with the sentiments expressed by the anonymous author. And I'm sure you're familiar with it. It says, we read in the paper and hear on the air of killing and stealing and crime everywhere. For delinquency rife and disrespect galore, how we do blame the children, and for many ills more. But can we be sure that it's the children's fault alone? That maybe a big part of it isn't our own? Are we adults less guilty who place in their way so many things to help lead them astray? For example, we give them too much money to spend, too much idle time, too many movies of passion and crime, too many books, too many video games not fit to be seen, too much cursing in what they hear of adults between. Too many children encouraged to roam by too many parents who won't stay at home. Now, children don't make the movies nor the video games that paint glamorous pictures of criminals given fame. Children don't make the liquor. They don't run the bars. They don't pass the laws, and they don't buy the cars. Children don't peddle the drugs that addle the brain. That's all done by whom? We adults, greedy for gain. Of physical, verbal, and sexual abuse, children are the victims, the ones who lose. Who curse and gamble in daylight so bright? Who sleep with their lovers within children's sight? Who go to work late and loaf much of the day? Who says, don't do as I do, but obey what I say? Delinquent children, oh, how we condemn the sins of the nations and blame all on them. By the law of the blameless, the Savior made known, who is there among us to cast the first stone? For in many, many cases, it's sad, but it's true. The title delinquent fits us older folks too. Children close their ears to advice, it is said, but they open their eyes to example, which leads one to conclude that more often than not, it's we the adults who are responsible for so much children rot. I just thought I'd share that with you. It is something that I think we should think about. That when we like to ascribe blame to students, to children, left, right, and center, I remember my grandmother saying, when you point one finger, at least 3 points back at you. So let us be careful that we don't apportion blame wrongly. We are going to listen now to a poem presented by one of our senior lecturers at the Council Albanian College of Further Education, and Dr. James, who is, by the way, fluent in Spanish. A lot of people might not know that. He's a counselor at the college. He is an elder in the Seventh Adventist Church, and I find him to be a good man. Let's hear him now as he shares with us a poem. Yeah, we can welcome him better than that, please. He deserves more than that. Yeah, just go. James, right there. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Okay, it was such a wonderfully inspiring and pleasurable experience tonight. And I've just been asked to do this little thing here for you. And so I'm going to try my best. So let's go. Actually, this poem, it's going to be done in musical form, with a musical beat. Sorry. It is actually based on two Psalms, Psalm 19 and Psalm 8. Okay, so let's see how it goes. I'm glad I'm not part of the competition, so I don't have to be wondering about anything, but we'll see how it goes. It's called Excellent is Your Name. I will look up to the skies and see the beauty of the heavens as they declare the eternal glories of my Lord so grand. See the wideness of the firmament that spread from north to south, from east to west, to show the work of God's almighty hand. Excellent is your name, now and forever. The same, Creator, Redeemer, King. Day unto day I'll give you praise with all of my heart till the end of my days. Excellent is your name, this forever I'll sing. Hear the voice of God that speaks through nature in the night and all the day, a universal language so we all might know that the law of God is perfect and his testimony sure. There is rejoicing in his statutes and he loves us so. Excellent is your name, now and forever. The same, Creator, Redeemer, King. Day unto day I'll give you praise with all of my heart till the end of my days. Excellent is your name, this forever I'll sing. When I consider the stars, the sun, the moon, the works God's hands have made, I wonder, what is man? Surely we have not been made so low. But to him all praises belong. Blessing and honor be to Jesus the Son, for we were made in the image of God, his glory to show. Excellent is your name, now and forever. The same, Creator, Redeemer, King. Day unto day I'll give you praise with all of my heart till the end of my days. Excellent is your name, this forever I'll sing. Thanks, Lord, for the fishes in the seas, the beasts on the hills, and the birds on the trees, and all the musical sounds I hear, the gems my eyes behold. We magnify your great creation. Oh, how glorious is your name. The story of the love of God is here being told. Excellent is your name, now and forever. The same, Creator, Redeemer, King. Day unto day I'll give you praise with all of my heart till the end of my days. Excellent is your name. Excellent is your name. Excellent is your name. This forever I'll sing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. James. And I also did not advise you that Dr. James is also a musician, an accomplished organist, pianist, and guitarist. No wonder he recited with such rhythm and meter. Bear that in mind. He is also a musician. Thank you very much, Dr. James. Appreciate that. We have seen the judges return, of course, and so we immediately, our levels of anxiety rise because we would like to know what their judgments contain. However, before we hear from them, we're going to have a video presentation. I imagine it features Miss Arlene Francis, or was constructed by her. Okay, I'm sorry. But we have a video presentation now. We invite you to turn your attention to the screen. Do his drumming piece now, as we wait for the technicians to set up the video presentation. I imagine he needs a drum. Okay, gentlemen, are we getting ready for the video presentation? Gentlemen? No? Okay, we're going to hear from Dean, and after his piece, we will have the judges report on their findings. I think we have a slight problem here with respect to Adin.
This is our message.
We're going to ask Adin to take his seat.
All petitions.
He's awaiting the arrival of another individual. So we're going to invite the judges now, a representative of the panel, the chief himself or some other member, to come and report to us on the conclusion of the judges' decisions.
By whatever means in a foreign land they'll stay, with careless abandon they leave the motherland just so. You run into my countrymen everywhere that you go, while them in a foreign land catching hell. The foreigners in their country doing well, not me. St. Kitts is me born in land, I say. So it's St. Kitts, I got to make it anyway. So it's good enough for the Trinidadian in Dan, and it's good enough for Antigua born Lucky Young, and it's good enough for the Golden Lemon Yankee. St. Kitts is good enough.
No. Okay.
Pleasant evening to all. And allow me to adopt the protocol that has been established earlier. And I guess extending that by giving my own welcomes to the ministers in the house. Good evening. And to all the parents, teachers, students, good evening. To all the parents, teachers, students, good evening. I know it's been quite a day, but we are here. Are we happy? All right, lovely, 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 lovely. So I have the job of detailing to you what the panel has decided. That decision came, I would say, not quite easily because it was a tough competition, but it was quite fun because everyone did very well. Yes. So before I tell you the positions, I do have a few comments that I would love to share. Now, one of the things that we wanted to recognize is how wonderful a piece it was. So let's give our great Elimat a wonderful round of applause. Excellent songwriter. The other thing that we noted is that all the students were very familiar with the piece. So kudos to the teachers, parents, and the students for a wonderful job preparing for this event. At this time, I would like to touch on the attire. I see a lot of creativity that went into the attire and the props on stage. Again, kudos to you teachers, students, and parents for a job well done. While I say that though, I must note that there was nothing in the criteria that allowed for us to categorize that effectively. So in our judging, we could not give or take points based on your stage props or attire. So our numbers had nothing to do with that, just to note. Okay? But they were wonderful, and don't stop. And I think next year, Mr. Hodge, I think we need to look at that as a part of the criteria for next year possibly. Because I think it's quite encouraging, the creativity that was displayed in that area. Yes. Now to some of the students. While you all were excellent, we thought, as a panel of judges, that some of you may have gone on with a bit much speed in your presentation and could have done well with a little bit of slowing down. And as such, it made it lose some of the impact and the essence that it should have had. So we want to encourage you that, and I know how it is on stage. I've been there and I'm here right now, and the nerves sometimes start racing and you start getting, lost in the moment. But do take some time to stop yourself in the moment and connect with your piece and emphasize where the emphasis needs to be, and pause where you should pause, and breathe where you should breathe. And I think that would do well for you going forward. But again, excellent job to all of you. One of the other things that I would love to point out relates to tone. In some cases, we thought that some of the students lost effectiveness due to their tone. where some statements came off as questions, the impact and the emphasis that should have been placed on some of them got lost because of a higher pitch or too low pitch. So again, we just wanted to touch base and share that again, tone may be something that we would like to control going forward for our next round of competition. And I think that was pretty much most of what we thought. Outside of everyone did really well. No, I am not here to ramble on and on and on, and I'm quite sure that you guys are waiting to go home. So now for that moment. So should I make it a bit theatrical? Ladies and gentlemen, now for that special moment of the evening. And we will start. And tonight, our second runner-up, as assessed by the panel of judges, was determined to be the Keyon Primary School, represented by Kavern Gilbert. So put your hands together for the Keyon Primary School and Kavern Gilbert for placing in the second runner-up position. So again, another round of applause and congratulations to Ms. Gilbert for a wonderful performance. And now, for the first runner-up in tonight's competition. And that was determined to be the St. Paul's Primary School, represented by Calix Hodge, with a wonderful, wonderful presentation tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulate her for wonderful presentation. St. Paul's Primary, first runner-up tonight's competition. And now, for the winner of tonight's competition, as determined by the panel of judges. Your winner is, can you guess? Your winner is the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School, represented by Christopher France. Ladies and gentlemen, give him an encouraging round of applause. Give our winners an encouraging round of applause. And give all participants tonight an encouraging round of applause. Congratulations, congratulations to all of you.
Thank you very much, Head Judge. We think you did a wonderful job. Before the Honorable Minister presents the winners with their trophies, we're going to have the drum presentation by Adine. So you stay right here and enjoy the presentation. Afterwards, the Honorable Minister with Mr. Hodge will make the presentations. Thank you very much, Dean. I think that was worth waiting for. Thank you very much. And of course, assisted ably by the master drummer himself, Ward Phipps. Okay, we'll now have Mr. Hodge and the Honourable Minister take over this part, take over this portion of the proceedings.
Destiny Powell. Sorry. Is Aisha here? Destiny Powell. Christopher Franz. Michaela Sage. Marian Francis. If the principal or a teacher from that school is here, you can come. Irene Clark. Tyler Maynard. Stokes. Stokes, I'm calling you. Your first name is challenging. Sing from Dean Glassford. Come on quickly, and Vern Gilbert, you are next. Gilbert, Vern. Dave Bay, Bartlett. Bartlett. Hodge. DeCosta. Yoni. Heat, your next. Juliet Janaliski. Avian Zakers, you're next. Avian's teacher is coming. Speed here. Let's hear it again for Avian Zakers, who couldn't make it because he had to be quarantined. We're going to sort him out with a prize. At this point, we want to invite Imani to come forward. We are giving Imani $500 for winning the team competition. And his school is also getting $500. Come on, give Imani a big hand one more time. We want to thank Virtual Sci for doing a great job with the national anthem this evening. It was a great rendition, yes. Second runner-up, we congratulate Keon Primary School. Second runner-up. Yes, all of them did very well. And then my little cousin Hodge from St. Paul's Primary School. Second runner-up. Come on, give them a round of applause. Congratulations, very nice. Our education officer, Mr. Mr. Charles, sorry. He's actually away on vacation, not vacation, to see his child graduate. And he predicted that St. Paul's was going to be number 2, and the winner was going to be Seventh-day Adventist. So he was right. Mr. Charles, you're right. Congratulations to Seventh-day Adventists. Well done. We are very happy to have a male winning this year. So congratulations to all the winners. You all were excellent. Thank you very much. You may return to your seat. Thank you, Minister. Mr. Chairman, I would like to bring on the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet. Come, let's hear it for the chair of the Independence Celebrations Committee. She would speak, give some closing remarks, as this is the final event as we close out our celebrations for this year. Thank you, Minister.
Okay, thank you, P.S. Hodge. And I just want to say good evening to everyone viewing and listening, Honorable Janelle Powell, and all of the persons here from the Ministry of Education, P.S. Hodge, and all the other senior officials from the Ministry of Education, parents, teachers, well-wishers, students. It was such a wonderful evening, and it was such a wonderful competition. And I just want to take the opportunity to congratulate all of the students who participated this evening. Give yourselves a round of applause, students. And those students who were here, give your classmates a round of applause, because they did your schools very proud. And you should all feel proud of that. Indeed, it was a very powerful song, and it's not until you hear the words in an elocution presentation that you realize the depth of the words of that song. I ain't going nowhere. Period. Point blank. St. Kitts and Nevis is my born in land, and I ain't going nowhere. Period. And so I just want to take the opportunity to just thank everyone. We've had quite an independence celebration. It was not the celebration that we would have hoped to have had because of the ongoing pandemic. However, we were still able to have some form of celebration for Independence 38. And the elocution competition was the grand finale for our celebration. So you should all feel so proud that you were part of the grand finale for our independence celebration. Independence 38, the young Imani with his very good theme. Congratulations to you again, Imani, and thank you so much. I think I asked you before how you thought of it and if you did it on your own, and you said it just came naturally. And so congratulations. Maybe next year we'll have something even sweeter. But it captured the times that we are in perfectly. Adapt. Everywhere we go, we have to make sure we have one of these beautiful little masks on our face to protect us from COVID-19. Diversify. We have to begin to think of different ways in which we can grow our St. Kitts and Nevis. Start thinking about different opportunities. Once upon a time, everybody wanted to be a doctor, a lawyer. You wanted to be a teacher, maybe. But it's time for us to diversify our economy and start thinking about different career paths. So maybe someone may want to be a poet, right, Samal? Or someone may want to be a songwriter, artist, a dancer. It's all possible once we diversify and start thinking about these career paths as lucrative career paths and opportunities. Recreate. We had to recreate the way we do much of what we do in order for us to be able to comply with all the restrictions brought on by COVID-19. And so sometimes we would want to do things the way we normally. Everyone like to talk about this normal, but the normal now forces us to recreate the way we do things. And that's what we have to remember, that we are now living in different times, which calls for different ways in which we do things. And so we had to learn to adapt, diversify, and recreate. And yes, it's Independence 38, but we have to think beyond Independence 38 and make it a way of life going forward. And so I hope that theme resonates with everyone and inspires everyone to think beyond just the independence celebration and start thinking, how can I diversify? How can I recreate myself? How can we recreate St. Kitts and Nevis to adapt to this new changing world? And so I just want to challenge all of us. And I just want you all to remember, we are still in a pandemic. So I'll now take off my chairperson of independence hat and put on my minister of health hat. We are still in a pandemic, which means that we have to make sure we continue to follow all of the protocols, wearing our masks, covering our nose and mouth, social distancing. That's why we're so spread apart in this huge sanctuary. We have to remember to keep our hands clean, whether it is washing with soap and water or using hand sanitizers. These are the things that's going to keep us safe, protect us, and make sure we do not come one of the numbers affected by COVID-19. And if you can be vaccinated, please get vaccinated. It's not just about individual, but it's about the entire community, the entire country. COVID-19 have taught us that our individual action and choices can affect everybody around us and affect the entire nation and infect the entire world. And so we are just asking persons if you can be vaccinated. Vaccinations have proven to be safe and effective, and it's our best chance to getting life back to as normal as possible. The sooner we have more persons vaccinated, the sooner we can build immunity and we can get things back to some sense of normalcy. And so I'm just making that plea once again for those of you between the ages of now 12 and above who can be vaccinated. Please take the time, stop by one of our health clinics. You don't need an appointment, and get vaccinated as soon as you can. But once again, congratulations to all of the students who performed this evening. Congratulations to the winners, the schools, the teachers really took the time and it showed in the presentations. So congratulations to everyone. And let us all have a wonderful rest of our year and look forward to our independence celebration for Independence 39. You can start thinking of a new theme, Imani. And anybody else, any of the other students who are here, you can start thinking of another theme for Independence 39. So thank you once again to the Ministry of Education for having this competition. And each year, Ministry of Education plays a very important role in the planning, organizing, and execution of events for our independence. I know we should have had the Nights of the Arts, which is normally done as a collaborative event between Ministry of Education and Ministry of Culture. Y'all see what we did there. One minister, so his two ministries had to work together to create an event. But unfortunately, we're not able to do that. But hopefully next year we would be able to have the Nights of the Arts, where we will be able to see our students again performing in the different genres, whether it be music or dance or poetry. And so once again, thank you all for being here. It was a splendid evening, and I'm looking forward to the elocution competition next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Sorry, carry on, Mr. Hodge. I was just about to introduce you to bring the curtains down with some expressions of gratitude.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blake. We are so delighted that everybody was able to be here this evening. We are extremely proud of our students. We thank you very much, you and your teachers, for the hard work that went into this. Please give all our teachers and students a round of applause. We want to thank our hard-working judges, all who are experienced in literary works. We didn't get to show Miss Frances' poem that she performed during the opening of Back to School, but some of us would have seen it. And we are so delighted that the judges were able to give up their time and their expertise this evening to evaluate this elocution contest. I want to thank Mr. James. Mr. James was one of the judges for the eliminations, and we saw him perform that poem tonight, which was very interesting to our children. They really enjoyed that. Mr. Gumsto, who is part of the Committee for Schools, he too was one of our judges for the eliminations. I want to thank Mr. Michael Blake, my good friend, for coming on board at short notice, as he tried not to say, to be the chairperson this evening. But this is Mr. Blake. This is naturally Mr. Blake. This is one of the things that he does without any difficulty at all. So I want to thank everybody, the pastor of this church, who always makes it available for the Ministry of Education to use, especially on occasions like this. I want to say thank you to the education officers who came and assisted in terms of the protocols, ushering, and so on. They work they're not part of the committee, but they work very hard to support what our children do. All of the students this evening are winners. Everybody's a winner, but those persons who were picked out as the more outstanding ones, we congratulate them. Keon Primary, St. Paul's Primary, yes, St. Paul's, ooh. And Seventh-day Adventist, Mrs. Blanchett Pemberton, you know, I could see up there behind that child making this presentation. And so much more the other teachers. So we congratulate everybody and thank you so much for coming this evening. We thank Minister Powell and Minister Byron Nisbet for giving up their time to be in our midst this evening. We thank you. And my Mrs. Isle Caesar over here, one of my assistant secretaries, thank you, Mrs. Caesar. She was one of the judges as well for the elimination. So thank you for being here this evening. Thank you one and all. I don't know if we're still on live, but thank you. You're dismissed. You are dismissed. Yeah. Thank you to the media team, Peppers and Craig and Jason.
To me, that is just for a holiday. There's too much violence and crime. You got to sleep with an eye open all the time. Don't talk about New York City. The junkies and the muggers are too much for me. The traffic too fast and the trains too loud. You have to rob and cheat and kill to last with that crowd, but not me, or sing kids.